Hello viewers. So here we are today looking at Urban Trial Freestyle. I thought I'd do this one sort of old school with a picture of me in the corner just to add a bit of jovial personality to the proceedings. So here we are then looking at my bike. I'm just looking at buying some new bits. I did a few runs first, very similar to, of course, Trials HD, Trials Evolution, that style of game, but available for PlayStation 3, and I had a couple of requests for it earlier this week, so I thought I'd show a bit of this as well. I've been meaning to for a while. This is just a quick gameplay run, preview if you like. Martin will be reviewing this on the website, no doubt, and giving it a lot more in-depth research. He's well into this type of game. You know, I'm going all urban today, I'm wearing my hat. There we go, that's about as urban as I get. We have the redneck looking guy on there doing his motorbiking skills. You know, I admit when I see the character, and this is actually because it's bloody freezing in the UK at the moment. Everyone in the UK will appreciate that. It is so cold. When are we going to get spring? Anyway, back to Redneck Man here doing his thing. So this is me having a quick go. A lot of this is my first goes on each course, having a feel for it. What's the first thing that strikes you? Well, the first thing that strikes you, frame rate, is not at the 60 frames that we're used to in, say, a game like Trials. It's a bit juddery. It's 30 and over, but it's a bit juddery. Not as smooth as it could and should be. They've gone to add more detail in the environments, and I think a little bit less detail and a little bit smoother frame rate would have gone a long way into the overall feel of the physics. The physics themselves aren't nearly as detailed as those you'd find in Trials HD or Evo. They're quite basic in comparison. The logic is there in how you control the bike and how you control the power and everything else. It's just not as smoothly incorporated into the design. So it's a very stiff feeling to the bike, if you like. It doesn't feel as natural as Trials, which feels, I think, absolutely perfect. I really do. I'm always amazed at what they've managed to achieve with that game with their physics engine. Of course, you can see much more varied environments, people shouting at the character, and, you know, cops there trying to stop him, and a range of different obstacles that you've got to pass. Much of it is quite straightforward, though. You don't need as much control on the stick in this as you perhaps would in Trials, and I wouldn't normally compare a game to another one, but this is so similar, and for many of you that have played that game and want to see if you've got something on the PS3 in comparison, then there is a direct comparison between the two games. So this is just a quick gameplay run, and as you can see, sort of environmentally, there is a lot of unusual objects to get past. Your rider doesn't die every time he crosses the line, of course, and no doubt the times are not going to be great, because you'll complete the game, you'll get better bikes, and then you'll go back and go through the whole game again and do much better times. So much like Trials, in a similar way, you know, you'll get a better bike, go back to the first level, and improve your times from there. Now, difficulty wise, as long as you know what you're doing and where you're going, it's not too bad. You'll see a few crashes here and there from me. I've included all those because I want you to see when I reach a point and I make a mistake, a typical silly thing that can happen, rather than just having just perfect runs, because then that conceals the difficulty, if you like, from you guys. So here I'm doing the same level I was doing earlier. Obviously I'm a little bit better at it now. This is part of the game, working your way through, getting enough stars to open the next section. So there is a little bit of repetitive nature to it, where you're improving your times and getting those extra stars and experience. And we get the 5 stars there and move on to the next part. So there's loads to discover in there. You know, as you can see, I'm in the first world at the top there, and there's 5 different worlds, and there's lots of different tracks within each world. No doubt the difficulty and the range of things that interact with your bike will increase as well. So I've got lots of these little games I'm catching up on, actually. So you're going to see a bunch of videos over the next few days of new and old games that I'm going to be catching up on while I've got a quieter patch and some other projects on the go for VVV, and I'll be talking to many of you about those when at a later date, and getting more involvement as well in the site and the forum. So working my way up here, it's always a tricky element now and again, and again, this is a good example where I think the triggers are so much better on the 360 pad than they are. I'm using the X button here. Of course, a mistake there. I didn't realise you had to actually let that lower. So here we go. That's it. And again, it's trial and error, isn't it? You learn your mistakes from your mistakes and you work your way on. Down the jump there's a big boulder chasing me, and then that smashes into the bridge. And it's another level completed. So overall feel then, well, I don't like the character, the whole redneck looking guy. He's not really something that you associate with. I think a character selection, normal person, biking guy or something would have been nice. I think that there is a very sort of grungy style to these games, and I don't necessarily always associate with them. I think that each to their own though. Trials went for a more generic rider. These guys have gone for a bit more attitude in the way it's done. Yeah, and again, some of these environments are very nice. Lots of details here. Lots of little things for you to interact with. Riding through a picnic there. That's nice. I think I make a mistake here. And I do. There we go. I was like, right, okay. So I make a few mistakes here. This is one of those trials moments where you're like, right, do I have to ride harder? No. I know what I've got to do now. Right, okay, nice and slowly. Just knock it down. Ugh. That's it. And get over it. That. Oh, go on. That's it. Lovely. Through the fence. That's how it's done. Oh, what do we do here? Do we go over it? Do we flip? Oh dear, okay. So there's always those elements, isn't there, in trials where I thought maybe I could do some, some spinny stuff, for a laugh, and go on. No, wouldn't let me do it. So ultimately you just do this slowly then. Oh. It's always frustrating, isn't it? It's that reset button. It's that addictive reset button where you get into that mode of, damn it, I'll do it again. And then I forget that I'm actually recording the video and think, oh, better not muck about too much and get on with it. So just trying to keep my front wheel down, avoiding these rolling boulders. All these things just to put you off, but at the moment the difficulty challenge isn't too hard. It does ramp up considerably on some of the later stages. And so attempting to earn more cash so I can improve my bike. It does take a long time to earn the cash. You have to go through all the stages, get all the stars, and then move through the different worlds, and then build your bike up and come back and do these again. So it will take a while of going through it all. The bike adjustments I made a huge difference to my bike, it has to be said. Much quicker, much more controllable, and in fact the physics, so though I say that obviously they're limited compared to Trials HD, they do come to the fore more as you have a more powerful bike. So you need to be a lot more, where with the standard bike you can be I don't know, just put your foot down really and just go for it, as it were. With a bike with a bit more power, you suddenly need to be much more conscious on how much power you're putting through and keeping that front wheel down. So going through one of these maps now. Again, lots of different obstacles and items there. You don't want to get that wrong. That's it. My man does random tricks. I'm probably doing something to make him do those tricks. I assume I have no idea at the moment. I was just riding through it and making the video for you guys. Get up there. Go on. Get your wheel down. That's it. The jumps. Bit of a roller coaster. More ways than one. I assume those cops are after me. It'll be interesting to see how the game develops. So yes, Martin will be looking at those. We'll go through the ghost house. And of course we went through this part of this map earlier, I believe. I can't keep up with all that I've done and haven't done at the moment. But I've been doing lots of stuff actually, so a little blog at the end of this. Well, I've been working on lots of stuff. You've seen the grid videos. I'm going to be making a video of feedback on those trailers and feedback on a lot of stuff I've been doing, and hopefully a lot of work. It's been very quiet on the channel for the last couple of months, and I hope that eventually I can reveal some of the work that I've been putting in for the future of VVV, to expand it, to get more people involved, and to grow it. And I hope that all does come together at some point in the next 2 to 3 months. It's certainly a lot of work going on behind the scenes at the moment. As we see another map here now, and again much increased difficulty now. So you do need to keep speed, and you'll see me making several errors on this one. It is a little bit more technical. Get up there. That's it. Again, I've never done this before, so I'm learning these obstacles for the first time. Oh. That's a tricky one. It's easy to lose it on some of these sort of bobbly bits and going too fast. And a mistake there. I knew I didn't have the speed before I got there. Got to get over this truck. Some of the restart points do seem to be quite a long way back, which is a little bit frustrating. I think they could have done with a couple of them being slightly close together with some of the obviously difficult areas. Some areas such as this one, we're coming to in a moment, I didn't quite know where I was going wrong at times. You just fall down a high jump and suddenly your bike, here we go, I think here, I didn't quite see what I did wrong there. I had no idea. He just jumped on the ground and died. I'm sure some of you at home have seen the mistake, but that time I did the same thing pretty much, and he was okay. Another mistake here, just got the front wheel bounced up and getting impatient here with trying to record the video and make something of it, and I'm, oh, go on. You know, those frustrating trial situations, and then, oh, I knew it too late then. And it puts me quite a long way back, so this is a bit of a pain. But I've included these restarts for the purpose that I wanted you to see. I wanted all of you to see the restarts that go into it, rather than just showing clean runs, because then that just gets a bit generic and boring. And so another frustrating moment there. Avoiding the truck now. For whatever reason, I'm making that jump this time. Concentrate, let's do this, lots of speed, and got the rear wheel down nicely, and that's the end. So all that frustration right in front of the finish, but that's what we like, a little bit of challenge. Surely you need a bit of challenge, but the challenge on the whole at the moment is pretty light compared to the trials games. It really is about maximising your time, and really just improving that against your friends. And again, nice detailed city environments. I mean, if you look at the backgrounds there is a lot going on, lots of lighting, lots to look at. And this is the last map we're going to look at on this video, the last stage. Just to give you an idea of how the visuals develop as it goes on in terms of scale. So obstacles being thrown at your bike. Making a mistake there, just kind of got the rear wheel out and spun me. Sort of speed you up that section. Didn't know where I was going there, and I thought, am I landing on a ramp or I've no idea. So I took it a bit slower this time, and then just kept the bike nice and level. So right near the end now, and that's it for this Urban Trial freestyle video. As ever, more on the forum and more from me soon.